Welcome back, guys. Today I'll be showing you on a low budget how to make a ton of coins. So if you've got a meaty team and you want a team like mine, you're in the right place. And of course, remember guys, we're giving away 9 sets of FIFA points. All you've got to do is subscribe, send me proof over on Instagram, and you'll be entered into the giveaway. And that'll be announced over in November. Now remember, all you've got to do if you want coins in a bit of a quicker way is, so if you guys are sick of losing at FIFA because your team isn't good enough or you're not good enough at the game, then right now you need to head over to skycoach.gg. Not only can they coach you in your weekend league or play your games for you, you can buy any amount of coins you want, and all of the services get 10% off right now with the code PRORECALL. Go check them out below. Make sure to click the link in the description and let's get into it. Now, of course, we're talking about low budget trading today, and something that you're always going to look at for low budget trading, of course, in the challenge section is marquee matchups. Now, at the minute, I've obviously completed it, so I can't see on here the teams, but you can always find them in Footbit. Now, marquee matchup trading is really good every single day on a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and it does fall off throughout the week. Now, it's Monday today, so a lot of these teams aren't going to be as profitable as they will have been before, but it's always worth having a look. So we've got Man City and Man United, obviously an obvious fixture to put in this week because it is one of the bigger derby games, and then, of course, on the other side of things, we have in Spain the derby, of course, as well. You have El Clasico. So we're looking here, as you can see, we've not really got a lot of movement on the cards. So what you want to do, because the gold rares are at 750, which means you can't really snipe them, you want to pop this onto gold commons and go for them. So you can see here around the 700 mark is where they kind of kick off. You got the likes of Ortega, you got Stefan, and you got Phillips. So you can actually snipe all of these at around 550 coins. EA tax is going to be 30 coins, which means every card you pick up and successfully sell for 700 coins is going to be a 120 coin profit. Now, if you head over to Man United, we can have a look if it's the same story, if they've maybe got any bit of a better value there. So if we increase this a little bit, 750 is the same mark, so the rares aren't going to have really moved up from here as well. You're looking at pretty much the same price on the Man United and the Man City players. Now, with the idea in mind that it's unrealistic that the La Liga ones are going to really have much weight to them as well at the minute, we can of course have a look, but realistically at Real Madrid, we're probably going to be looking at maybe a K for the goals rares. Let's have a look. 950, so you can see it's the same story. You can see them at 700. So you can of course do a gold common filter on them and Barcelona, but a good filter that you can actually find with Real Madrid that's a little bit better is if you just head over to centre mid. Now for this one, of course, you've got Cruz and you've got Modric, both of which are a little bit more expensive than they'd usually be. So if we go to the kind of 10k mark, you're going to see that nothing's really coming up. Now, of course, if we pop this over to maybe 12,000 coins, you're going to see these kind of strictly kind of coming in. We've got obviously Cruz on the bottom and then Modric will follow next. If you want to kind of mix this filter up a little bit, you can take off the likes of Real Madrid, pop it over to Germany, and you'll be looking at Cruz and Gundogan. So you actually do have an El Clasico filter of midfielders. Now, usually this is a lower budget filter, but right now it's at 13,000 coins. So we want to look elsewhere for those real lower budget numbers. Now, looking at some of the teams in marquee matchups to find these, obviously over at Man City, if you pop gold rare English and then you pop in around 5,000 coins, you're going to be looking at Stones, Grealish, and of course Foden. Now obviously Man City's Walker does actually come up on that filter, but he's a lot more expensive, so he's not going to be found there. Of course, with the likes of Man United, there isn't many filters you could do this year because the club doesn't have as many expensive players. If you actually have a look through, we don't really have a lot here to work with. Of course, on the midfielder front, you do, but that's going to push you a little bit higher. If we set the minimum to 10,250 and we go over to the midfielders, you've got the likes of Bruno and of course Casemiro. So both of them will come up on that, but as you can see, it's way above the kind of low budget that we're looking at. Now, the clubs you want to go to for your lower budget filters, I personally, Liverpool, they're not too bad. You've got a couple in there. If we go over to the likes of forward, you want to go gold rare. You're going to have the likes of course, Gakpo, Nunez, Jota, and then of course you've got Diaz on this filter. So all of these guys, Diaz is a little bit more expensive, but you can grab most of these guys around that sort of 2k mark. You can see Nunez here, one of the cheaper players available, so an easy little filter there. If you head over to Arsenal, pop on Brazil, of course you've got the likes of Gabriel, Martinelli, and Jesus, which is brilliant. Another really easy filter. You've got 3 players, same nation, same team, same rating, makes filters incredibly easy. Similarly, if you take the same nation and you go over to the arch nemesis, Newcastle United, you're going to find the likes of course, Joe Linton and Gomes. Now, right now, Gomes is obviously a little bit up right now because he's usable in SBCs, but Joe Linton is definitely an easy, cheap option. You can compare price your way probably to a min price snipe on him. He's definitely not a desirable card in the sense of using him in game, so you can definitely get some big snipes here. If we go down to maybe 800 coins and sell at 1,000 coins, you're looking at a 150 coin profit per card, and I don't think it's going to be too difficult to pick a few of these up. There's not going to be a lot of competition in these. It's also not a card, as I say, it's desirable for teams, so it's just a regular 82 that you'll probably have quite a decent job at sniping. Now, another really easy filter on the lower end is Gold Rare, Defender, League One, and PSG. So all of these cards have a different value for a different reason. Of course, we've got Hernandez and we've got Skriniar, who are going to be a little bit more valuable just on the 84 basis. You've got Kimpembe, who I'm so surprised to see on this filter. I actually got him at the start of the game and sold him for around, I think, 80,000 coins, maybe even 90. Then you've got Nuno Mendes. So actually right now, surprisingly, Kimpembe is on the cheaper side of this filter. You're going to start finding these cards at around the 3k mark. So you're going to have Mendes on the lower end. Skriniar will pop up sort of when 84s aren't as popular, but if you look at the SBCs that are out at the minute, 84s are required for a few of them, so they're a little bit on the rise right now. If we go to the kind of the 2.4, 2.5k mark, you can see a few of these cards here. If we go down to, I think, 2.3, that's where they're really going to cut off. So at 2.4, there's a couple. EA tax on this one, selling at 2.5 is going to be 125 coins. So if we bought them at 2.3, we'll be making a 75 coin profit. Not enough. 2.2 is 175. So if you want that, you're happy to go there, do 2.2. If you want a little bit more, 2.1, you'll make 275, which is near enough 300 coins a card. We picked up the first one and it was an instant snipe. So that is actually a good showing from this filter. I wouldn't expect to pick it up that easily, but absolutely banging. So we've already made almost 300 coins profit, or almost 200 coins profit. Slightly got my numbers wrong there. You can see that I'm working off a lot of caffeine and a small amount of sleep, but it's a very easy filter to get you going, especially on the lower end. And we managed to get that even though I was mid-sentence when it came up. So that is another double win. Popping that up again for 2.5. So as you can see, really easy filter. Now another one, if you do head over to the Prem and you go over to Arsenal, it's English from Arsenal. Really easy. You've got Rice, you've got Saka, and of course you've got Ramsdale. Ignore Saka for that one, but you have a nice Rice and Ramsdale filter. Now, if you want to creep into the kind of higher end filters and kind of push that up a little bit more, you can take yourself over to midfielder, Premier League and gold. Now, if you pop this up to around 20k, you can kind of see an array of the players you can get for under that 20k mark. So we've got Odegaard, we've got Diaby. Is there anyone else who's really going to show up much? I don't think so. I think those two are the kind of main ones. You will have other players creep in, but these are the ones you're really going to be spending the most time sniping. So if you pop this down to, I think it is literally 14k for this guy at the minute. You can see with the 3.1 minimum there, he can go for as little as 3.1. Now, because you're setting him in 10,250, the lowest you're going to get him is 10,500. Now, realistically, I would say you want to pick this guy up for 13k as a minimum. That's going to be giving you a 300 coin profit. Now, anything below 13k, we're looking at the sort of 5, 6, up to 1,000 coins profit. If we can go, if you want to go at 12k, you make 1.3k coins per card. So obviously, if I could get the sentence out, maybe I'd be able to get that snipe as well. But it's a very, very easy filter to get you kicking on to making those bigger profits. And there's a few options that you can move on to from there. Of course, if you set this over, take off midfielder and go for French, and then we go up to around, I want to say 33k, you should find the likes of Nkunku actually at the same mark. So you might want to go down for the French mark rather than, of course, the midfielder. As you can see, this one's probably going to be a little bit easier to use. If Nkunku ever goes up, you might want to steer away, but as it stands, these two are bang on the same value, so it makes a lot of sense. Now, the other thing that makes a lot of sense for you guys is subscribing for that chance of those FIFA points and, of course, the brilliant daily content. So make sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and of course, have a good day.